Hello and welcome to today's Ask Barn2 Anything Q&A live stream. I'm Katie Keith, co-founder and CEO at Barn2 Plugins.
And I'm Sam Waynes, and I handle all of the YouTube videos and media. And I'm also featured on all of these live calls with you guys. So we're very excited to be back at it. Last month we were in, or earlier this month, we were in Taiwan at WordCamp Asia. We had a sponsorship booth and we had a great time fielding a bunch of questions about our plugins in person. But now we've opened it back up to the online world, and so we can get questions from everywhere. And I see we already have some people commenting from Australia and other places like that. So yeah, it's really cool. Here's a couple of photos of our experience together in Taiwan, and we wrote about it on our website. We have a blog post, which you can read about if you're interested in that sort of thing. It's really great when the community gets together in some of the big and small events that happen around the world. And I was fortunate enough to be in Asia at the time, so I managed to get over there to Taiwan. And now we're both back in Europe. So yeah, very nice.
So on this live stream, we've already received some fantastic questions and we're even getting live comments already. So that's great. And we'd love to receive more if you are watching live. You can ask questions just by adding a comment wherever you're watching this, which might be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I think LinkedIn as well. And we can either answer your question directly, we can point you in the right direction, and we can also actually do demos showing you how to do specific things with our plugins. And while this is mainly a pre-sales question and answer session, existing customers are welcome to ask questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
let's
awesome.
get started. Now, the first question we had was about how to use 3 of our plugins together. So those 3 plugins were a question from Todd. He wants to know about setting up the discount manager, quantity manager, and bulk variations plugins to work in harmony. This is a very common type of question because we have 19 premium plugins, most of which are WooCommerce. People often want to know how to use specific products together. So I will do a bit of a demo. I'll just make my screen, just opening up some links for you now, and then I'll be able to show them all to you. So I've basically created a demo product for Todd, which shows all of those 3 plugins being used together on one site. So I will share that with you now. Present. So this plugin, this is a demo site using 3 of our plugins. I've created a normal variable product which has various options. And the 3 plugins are WooCommerce bulk variations, and that has created this nice grid of variable products. So if you use WooCommerce, you probably know that normally variations are displayed as a drop-down. So you might have a size drop-down for the small, medium, and large options, and separately a color drop-down for the red, green, and blue. And you have to select from both drop-downs and then add to the cart, and then repeat the process for all the variations you want to add. So WooCommerce bulk variations improves on this for stores where the customer might want to buy multiple variations at once. So as you can see here, you can enter different quantities and add them to the cart much more quickly. So that's the first plugin used here, WooCommerce bulk variations. And Todd also asked about Discount Manager, which allows you to create custom price rules, basically. And the plugin has 6 different types of discount. It's pretty advanced. But the one I sort of felt might be the most relevant to Todd based on this combination of products was the Discount Manager bulk variations. No, sorry, that's another plugin. Bulk pricing discount, which is where you can add tiers of discounts. Like if you buy 5 products, you might get a 10% discount. If you buy 10, you might get 20%, and so on. So I've used that here as well. And finally, he asked how to use the WooCommerce Quantity Manager plugin to set quantity rules. And On this demo product, you can see the quantity manager in two ways. Initially, I've set the default quantity to 0. Now, normally this would be 1, but I've chosen to set it to 0. And I've also set a minimum quantity of 5. And I'm going to show you how that works now. So let's add 2 different variations to the cart. So I've selected one for those 2, and I'm going to add to the cart. And then I'll go to the cart page, and this is where you'll get to see the discount pricing and the quantity manager. Here we've got an error or a warning, which is the quantity manager plugin saying you must add at least 5 units of V-neck t-shirt before you can complete your order. And that's because I have set a minimum quantity of 5 for that particular product. And I'm now going to add larger quantities, and that will trigger a discount. So I'm going to change that to 10 and update my cart. And for some reason, it hasn't done a discount. Oh, yes, it has. I'm just looking in the wrong place. It's changed it from $20 per unit to 17. And if we scroll down, we can also see total savings. So by buying a larger quantity, I've saved $30. And another thing you can do in the Discount Manager plugin is add a prominent notice to the top of the cart page to reassure people that their discount has been applied. So I'm not sure how I missed it a minute ago because it's actually there in 3 places. I will just go back to the product page now, which it wants me to resubmit. So I'll do that and show you one final thing, which is that here I manually wrote the bulk discount tiers in a bullet list. You don't actually have to do that. You can display a table of the pricing tiers, but I chose not to do it in this example because it looks a bit like your bulk variations table, which would be confusing. So I felt it would be more intuitive to not do that, but you can show a tier of discounts in a table. So hopefully that answers Todd's question about how to use those products together. So that is WooCommerce bulk variations for the grid, WooCommerce discount manager for the discounts, and WooCommerce quantity manager for the quantity. And if you did want to have a play, then this is the URL I've put on the screen now, and we'll also put it in the YouTube description later of that demo product. So you can actually test that product yourself, add things to the cart and see the quantity rules and discounts in practice.
And speaking of YouTube, Katie, the most recent video I just put up on the channel is actually about Quantity Manager. So you can see a more in-depth look at the back end of that plugin and how to set it up, specifically for setting minimum and maximum quantity rules. So I just want to acknowledge that some of the commenters, without derailing our plan for the call. So Kimberly, we have your question coming up pretty soon, but we just have a nice order of what we're going through. So I'll just get through a few more questions and then we'll get to yours. And hello to Morhad and Srihari. I'm sorry if I said your names wrong. I hope that's correct. And also hello to Speak to Web. I don't know your full name, but that would be your avatar. And yeah, so thanks for your questions, guys. We will get to some of them later. We'll get to some of them very soon. Okay, sweet. So moving on to Gianni's question. And Gianni says, we're old-time customers of Barn2, and we're looking for a coupon that can match with users. So whenever the specific users check out, they get an automatic discount. All right, so I have a demo site set up to display this. So allow me just to set that up on the call. Here it is. All right. So here we have our 6 different discount types that the plugin offers. This is WooCommerce Discount Manager, which is what Katie was just referring to earlier. And so I'm going to apply just a simple 20% off discount, and I'll show you how I've created this. So first of all, the discount type is simple, and I've just given it a name so I remember what it is. I'm going to apply it to all products in my store because I'm just going to allow this for certain users, so it can be applied to all products. And yes, we want the sale badge. We can change the discount percentage here, 10%, 20%. And then down here, I'm going to select who it applies to. So instead of selecting applies to everyone or certain roles, which I also have the option for, I'm just going to select a certain user or users. So here I've selected their name from the list, and then I can add or remove them here by clicking on these buttons. And finally, I'm going to set the availability to always available. You can also create exclusions for your different categories or products from these lists here. So sorry about that. And you can add more content so those users know what their discount will be, and then click Save. And Katie, would you like me to demonstrate how that looks on the product side, or is that probably good enough for understanding?
I say no, because this is about user-specific discounts. So
it won't work. Yeah.
It won't be that visual, will it? So they'll see the discounts in the cart, which I showed you in the demo a minute ago, how much they've saved. But obviously Sam would have to log into
over here, make sure, oh, sorry, Katie. Over here, just make sure it's enabled and check out who the users are that this is enabled for. So here I have favorite customer as my enabled user, and that's the only person who gets that discount.
Okay. So after that, we had a question about Post Table Pro, which for some reason I've forgotten to create a caption for. So I'll just do that quickly. I'll just read it out, actually. So a question from Nikki, who was asking about a directory listing to help with the portal. Actually, I'm going to put a caption on because it's not that obvious. So then we can work out what we are showing. So Nikki wants a directory listing to help with a portal, maybe just need a recipe or path. I think that means that Nikki wants to create a directory website, probably with our Post Table Pro plugin, which I will show you. And possibly by portal, it could mean two things. It could mean the directory itself is hidden within some sort of a portal or hidden area, but I reckon that that wouldn't work for a directory. So that she probably means the portal in terms of allowing users to submit and edit directory listings themselves. So like somebody visits the website and they add their business to the directory, for example. I think it might mean that, because normally a directory would be public and not within a private portal. So please leave a comment if that's not correct, and we can answer more directly. But I think that's what that would mean. So to do that, we would use our Post Table Pro plugin. And I'm going to show you a demo of that to show you how it works first. And then after that, I'm going to show a very detailed tutorial about how to use it to create a directory, including what I think you mean by the portal side of things, which would be allowing users to submit entries to the directory. So I will share my screen, Post Table Pro demo. This is our Post Table Pro plugin, and it basically displays any kind of content from a WordPress website in a table. This is a table with all sorts of content in it, and you can use it literally to list any type of information from your website. So if you created a custom post type called directory listings or members or businesses or whatever the directory was of, then you could use Post Table Pro to display it. And we have a free plugin called Easy Post Types and Fields, which you can use to create those areas within your website, like businesses or members or directory, and that adds a section for that to the WordPress admin, and then Post Table Pro displays it. I'll just show you a staff directory, which is one use case of the Post Table Pro plugin. So here we've created a directory of staff members where they're all listed in the table, and you can filter by team or whatever. I think probably what Nikki was asking about was more of a kind of business directory, and you can do that, but they would be business listings instead. You could have things like industry or specialism or whatever for the filters. You can have as many filters as you like. And also you can make these titles clickable or have a button to view the full directory listing. So it's pretty good for that use case. But Nikki's use case was about the portal side of things as well, and allowing users to submit to the directory. And for that, I recommend this tutorial, which is, I'll just put a link to it on the screen and also in the YouTube description once we've finished. This is called How to Display Gravity Forms Entries on the Front End. And it's basically how to use the Gravity Forms plugin to allow people to submit to your directory, and then use our Post Table Pro plugin to display items within the directory. So like in this featured image here, I don't know if it's big enough for you to see, you've got the Gravity Forms upload a listing page created with Gravity Forms, and then you've got Post Table Pro to list the directory items. So this uses the use case of a member directory. Of course, it works with businesses as well, and goes through that in detail. So in terms of the kind of recipe that Nikki was asking for, how to do it, I think this is the best place to go.
Just so you know, this also works with Contact Form 7 in addition to Gravity Forms. I have a YouTube video about that as well.
True. Basically, any contact form plugin which allows you to save the form entries as a custom post type in WordPress. That sounds pretty complicated, but we do have videos and also tutorials on our website about all of those use cases. And Sam, I think you've done a video for this Gravity Forms one as well, haven't you? Which will be embedded in that post that I linked to. So
exactly.
It's a fairly complex use case, but we provide support and documentation on exactly what to do.
Yeah, it's quite a popular request, I guess. Yeah, awesome. All right, so I'm going to introduce our next plugin, which is WooCommerce Product Options. And yes, Kimberly, we are getting to you very soon. If you're still here watching, thank you. And this is the one I want. Share that one. Awesome. So WooCommerce Product Options, this is recently one of our most popular plugins, especially on the side of WooCommerce. And so I'll just show you how it works in relation to selling a smartphone, for example. So here we have the smartphone plus related products. We can choose an additional product like a case using these image buttons. We can choose additional accessories. For example, this is if you want to link other products in together, or you can just have some standard, checkboxes, for example. This is an example of how to add more products to one product. But let me go back for a second and just show you how it works in relation to something like pizza. So this was actually a popular way to, I guess, create, like different types of products. So we have radio buttons here. We have checkboxes. And this one here, it's got a limit of 3 options only. And you can see there's additional pricing for each of these additional options. And the plugin does a bunch of things, actually. It does a whole lot more. And one of the things it does is a pricing calculator. So on this page, it's called Made to Measure Curtains. They're priced at $50 per square meter. So if I input 1 meter precisely, like 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters, that's going to bring up a price of $50. If I make it 10 times as big, it'll be $500. So the price will update automatically. But the problem is the plugin can also bring up a price like $5 for a smaller request, or even something as small as 50 cents. And we don't actually want that. So basically, I'm going to show you how to set up a minimum price for the plugin so that it will always return a price of something like $50. And yes, Katie, I know
Let's put up
I'm
Dogan's
skipping
question
ahead.
then.
Let's put up his question.
Yeah.
So how can I set up a minimum price on the price formula? So let's share the back end of what's happening. So here we have a price formula set up on the plugin. So first of all, we have a width and length. This is just a number type, so people can enter the number into those boxes. And then we'll use the formula to calculate the price. And all the formula is happening right here. So it takes into account the width, the length, and the product price, all of those together. But what I'll show you how to do is add one thing, which will return the minimum price that we want. I'm just going to copy it so I get it right. Don't have any mistakes. Okay, so this is going to return the price that we want. So we use the function max, M-A-X, and then we use the open brackets, and then we set that price that we want it to default to no matter what. If the dimensions are too small, and that's 50, then we proceed, we put a comma there, and then we proceed with the rest of the formula, and we close the bracket that we opened. And then when I save this change here and refresh the other tab, now when I input a number smaller than 100 by 100, for example, 1 by 1, the price will remain at $50. So it's only after I put in a number larger than 1 meter squared that we're going to get a price larger. For example, if I just put 100 by 200. So it's a little bit confusing and slightly counterintuitive, but it's all in our documentation. If you use this max feature function in the formula, and then you write the number, that will return that number as the minimum, no matter what the dimensions are that the customer has input. All right, and I did. Okay, I don't think I skipped anything, right? It's Christopher's question, right?
Yeah, so we swapped the question, but that's fine. We've
Okay.
covered Dogan's question fully. So Christopher's question was that instead of using variable products for product samples, he would prefer to use our product options plugin because the client requires the multi-option checkbox, which Sam just showed you, and selection functionality. So I've created a product which uses product options to sell samples to show you how that might work. So I created this product, which is curtains, a bit like the one Sam just showed you, but instead of a measurement price calculator, like you can do both on the same product, that's just fine. I've used this to sell samples. So I've said, let's say that the user can choose a pattern, but what if they want to order a sample of the pattern? So that they can see what the fabric's like. I realize these are really weird pictures to use for curtains, but they just have we're in the media library already. So I don't think you're going to order happy birthday curtains, but it's an example. So I've ticked this box here, order fabric samples, which is created using our product options plugin. And we've used conditional logic so that when you tick that box, then these other options appear below. These are basically 3 different ways to present samples because Christopher mentioned checkboxes. So I did that, but I actually think there are better ways to do samples, which I wanted to show. So for the checkboxes, you can just tick them and you've got the name of the sample and the price. And I used a feature in product options to set a maximum quantity. So as you can see, it tells you off if you try to select more than 3 so that you can't order the wrong amount. And I know that that's very popular when selling samples because it might be making a loss on them, for example. So you don't want people to order dozens and dozens. And you can also set a minimum quantity on samples if you want to. So that's the checkboxes. But I think that if it's a visual kind of thing like fabric, then you probably want people to be able to see it. And there's 2 visual ways to do that in product options. Here we've got image swatches, which we call image buttons, where you can allow the customer to literally click on an image in order to choose the sample. And again, I've set the maximum quantity of 3 so that you can only select 3. And similarly, if you're choosing a sample of a specific color rather than a pattern, then you can use the color swatches. And I happen to set this one up more like radio buttons, which you can do as well, so that you can only select 1. So it's pretty flexible and quite a good option for selling samples if that's the way that you want to use WooCommerce product options. And again, my demo product is on here. It's not in the main demo because I just created it for this live stream. So you can use this link at the bottom of the screen and we'll put it in the YouTube description later to see the exact product which I just showed you.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. All right. Are we moving on to Kimberly's? Did we answer Christopher's question? Awesome.
Now, I think we've had questions about product options from a Kim and a Kimberly who had different surnames. So I'm not actually sure which one we've got in the comments. So let's just answer all of the questions, and then they can ask further questions in the comments as needed. So it's got a bit confusing with similar names. So, and also they're really similar questions as well. So one was, what are we doing to add a print preview for our customers to see their personalized item before making their purchase? We get this every month, don't we?
Yeah, it's
not currently
not
a feature.
the first time. Yeah, we're coming across this.
Yeah, so this is not a feature where when you allow the customer to actually upload an image to their product. I'll just show an example of what sort of product you might want to do this. So, oh, I just clicked on the wrong link. Apologies.
That's all right. Just pop it in the browser and it'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there we go. So here we've got a t-shirt where you can upload a design to the t-shirt. And what this question is about is displaying your uploaded design here in the image box on the single product page. And that's quite a popular feature request. And we discussed it in quite a lot of detail last month, where we kind of asked people for opinions on how you might want it to work, because it's not obvious to us exactly how people want it to work, because this is part of the structure of the WooCommerce single product page. So would you want it to appear here, for example, which might be quite small in your theme, or would you want it to open up in a pop-up or something else? We'd really like to know what people would like in terms of the detail, because it's quite a lot of work for us to do technically, but I think we're going to do it. But we want to get the detail right about how it will be incorporated into the structure of that single product page, because the product options appear directly on the page. Do you want this little image here to appear as a preview, or do you want it to open up, or something else we haven't thought of? So that's sort of on the medium term roadmap probably, but we're just sort of debating questions like this at the moment. And
but we do have a workaround, at least, right? That's what we're kind of showing.
Yeah,
in the next
I'll
question.
do that on the next question. So firstly, I'll be honest and say, if this is a deal breaker now, then you might want to use a product called Fancy Product Designer, which does have that. So the problem is it doesn't have the other options in our plugins. Like we've got the personalized logic, for example, here. I click, I'd like to personalize the back of the t-shirt, and it shows and hides. It doesn't have all these other features and the different like clickable images and color swatches that I showed you a minute ago, which is why people are so desperate to have this in product options. But that is a way to do that if you don't require the other features of our plugin. But the Kim, who I think might be a different person to Kimberly, has asked specifically, said there's a lot of t-shirt demos. In fact, there's one on my screen right now, but can you show how to do a sublimated mug or coasters? And so I created a demo for that to show how you would do it.
I've got it now.
You've got
Katie.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So with that one, I've created a mug. I didn't create a coaster because I think it's very, very similar requirements. So for a mug, I said, let's let them choose the overall background color of the mug. So like the one in the picture on the left is white, but you could choose different ones. Do you want to personalize it? So again, I use conditional logic here. So the default is no, just to order a blank mug. And then you can either click to print your photo or custom text. These are all options which I set up myself, and you can do it your way. It's really flexible. So when you click to upload a photo, the upload field appears. You can set it to how many photos you want people to be able to upload, the file types, maximum file size, etc. And also you can do custom text where you allow people to choose a font. But as I just said, there is no preview feature currently where it will show a picture of the mug with your uploaded photo or your text message on it. So the workaround Sam just referred to was that I've added this print preview checkbox. You could just send manually a preview that you've created of the finished mug to your customers anyway, or you could actually charge extra for it. I know that when I've been ordering merchandise for conferences, for example, sometimes the printing website allows me to pay extra to have a manual check put in place to assure the quality and of my product, and it's typically about $25 to allow to actually have somebody, one of their designers, check what I've uploaded and check that it's all perfect and guarantee the quality a bit more. So that could be a good opportunity for you to increase that order value, or you could just send a preview to everybody. But at the moment with our plugin, that is manual. And as I said, we're collecting feedback about how people want us to implement that in the future. And if you want to see that custom mug and have a play with it, then I've just put the URL on the screen, and also we'll put it in the YouTube description. And do you want to show the back end now, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. So this product that Katie just created, well, the option she created and applied to the product is set up like this. So this is all the different options that are set up within this option type. And so first of all, it's just the mug color, which is color swashes, and you just add the colors here, nothing crazy going on. And of course, is set up in a way that you can only select one at a time. And then you have this personalize the product. This is just a simple radio button. So it's essentially a yes, no function, right? You see that there's one no option and two yes options. And you can set those up here and add a price as well. And then we get into the conditional logic. So for the photo upload, for example, we use the file upload option. And then we scroll down to here and you see in the advanced settings, then we can set up all the details for the photo, like PDF, PNG, JPEG files are allowed. And then we have the conditional logic. So show this option if all of the following matches. And
Sam, just so you know, the reason I've put a link on the screen is because Kimberly's just asked if we have a tutorial on the conditional logic in more detail. So that's on the screen now, and we'll put it in the YouTube description.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to briefly cover conditional logic here so that people get an idea of what that's talking about. Yeah, so essentially you can choose the option from any of this list, personalize this product equals print my photo. And that will enable this option, which is photo upload, to show up when the customer selects to print their photo. And then the same is kind of true for all of these next options. Just depends on which previous option was chosen, and the conditional logic will allow that one to be shown. So yeah, that's and then I'll just show you this photo print preview. This is just a checkbox, very simple, and you add a label, and then you can update the fee for how much that's going to cost, or you could do it for free. You could have it as a default option. That's always selected, or you could just, you can just set it up that way. So yeah, there might be different ways that different business owners want to approach this for the moment. I'm not sure what the best solution is, but maybe using a program like Canva and then sharing a design through Canva is an idea.
Yeah, we're getting a few suggestions as well. So Kimberly has suggested upload an image file, apply it to the product as it's seen so the customer knows what they're getting. So I think that means on the single product page. So we would integrate our preview functionality with the default image space on the product page. And then I suppose it would be up to the store owner to design their product page to make sure the image is big enough for that to be a meaningful preview. And of course, to make sure it works with the zoom as well. Daniel Iser, the author of the Pop-Up Maker plugin, suggests using it in a Pop-Up Maker pop-up. Sorry, Daniel, I think it needs to be part of our plugin, doesn't it? But that could be a workaround. If we could work out a way to get the preview in the first place. So yeah, keep sending suggestions of how you'd like it to work, because when we do implement this, it's going to be a big feature for us to add. So we want it to be as useful as possible to the maximum number of people.
Okay, so we've gone through the mug and how to set that up. I think we're ready to jump into, do we want to field some questions from the live stream now?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then we've just got questions on product table to do after that.
Okay. So anything that you start, you want to go ahead?
I'm going to leave Baz's for now because Baz's questions are the product table ones we're coming to. So we'll cover all his comments at the same time. So let's go to Gianni's question. Hi guys, and thanks for the opportunity. A few of our B2B customers have different percentage of discounts. They have no time to apply a coupon in the basket. Therefore, we need a solution that can automate the discount for them based on group role. Thanks. Absolutely, yeah. You don't want wholesale users to be having to enter discounts like that. So to do that, you can use our WooCommerce Wholesale Pro plugin, which I'm just creating a caption for so that you've got the link. Right, here you go. So this is our wholesale plugin, which lets you create as many wholesale user roles as you like and set discounts for each one, which can be a percentage discount, as you mentioned, across the whole store. So whenever somebody with whatever wholesale role makes a purchase, they will get that percentage discount. Or you can have more fine-grained control if you want and do it per category, per product, and even set exact prices that role will be charged per product. So it's pretty flexible. You can have unlimited roles and control the pricing for each one. So that's definitely better than giving coupon codes to wholesale users, which is really not what coupons are designed for. That's more for individual retail customers, really, on an occasional basis or for a sale or something like that.
It's also kind of related to Gianni's earlier question about having the discount manager, and you can apply that to users too. Would you say that's not recommended or recommended in this case?
If it's a B2B store, they probably want other B2B functionality, such as wholesale registration, maybe the ability to show different payment and shipping options to the wholesale users, different tax option, the whole thing of wholesale users. Also, our wholesale plugin integrates with our product table plugin, which shows a more B2B friendly order form layout to logged in wholesale users. Whereas our discount plugin just changes the pricing, but it doesn't do all that other stuff. So the main reason for a wholesale user to use our discount manager plugin is if they want to set different pricing per user, because our wholesale plugin does it on the role basis, not per user. And a lot of people use WooCommerce Wholesale Pro with Discount Manager so that they can, for certain wholesale users, set exact prices and discounts for that one user. But that's only if you need user-specific pricing.
And I'll just give a little shout out to our YouTube channel. Please go there and subscribe with notifications, because next week, straight after Easter, I'm going to upload a video about this exact topic, which is about Wholesale Pro, how to set it up, how to set up the roles, and how to add users manually, and all of those details, which is really great for B2B sellers. So yeah, just a little shout out there for what I'm doing.
Yeah, so let's go to YouTube and search for Barn2 plugins. Yeah. So we have a comment from Rajiv who says, I have a question about the My Account screen on the Barn2 website. I have a number of lifetime license products. On the orders screen, I can see all my orders, but I have to click into each one to see what product it was for so I can get the correct license key. Can the screen include the products in the order, please? Yes, we are currently completely redoing that page. It's basically, at the moment, it comes from the Easy Digital Downloads plugin, which we use to sell our plugins on our website. And we agree that it's not particularly well designed. We've styled it, but we haven't changed the functionality, and it doesn't quite meet people's needs at the moment. So that is an ongoing project. And so in the next few months, hopefully you'll see it get a lot better. So thanks for that.
Awesome.
I think those are all the starred comments, except for
product
Baz's.
table.
So we will get to product table next. Okay, So the next question was about our WooCommerce Product Table plugin. So I'll show you the demo of it, and then I'll move into the questions, which come from two different people. So this is our product table plugin, which is our best-selling plugin of all time. It basically takes your WooCommerce products and lists them in a table. The most common use case is to create a quick order form of your products, because as you can see here, unlike the usual shop page, which lists products in a grid and you've got to browse for quite a while to find what you want, you can very quickly narrow down the list to find what you want based on whatever attributes, tags, custom taxonomies, anything really. And you've got a search box. And then once you've found products, you can choose your quantities, you can select multiple products, add them to the cart all at once. You can choose variations. And bear in mind that normally on the shop page in WooCommerce, you can't do any of this. You just have to click through to the single product page in order to add them to the cart. So it significantly speeds up shopping on products that you don't require massive images. I mean, you can make the images bigger and things like that. We've got light boxes, but I would say product table is good for when the information about the product comes first and you just need a little image or maybe no image at all. You want people to see lots of products at once and quickly add them to the cart. And that's why I mentioned it a minute ago for the B2B wholesale use case, because wholesale users don't want to see big images. They want a space-saving order form just like this. So that's the product table plugin, and we had two questions about it. The first one was from Martin, which was kind of how do you use it? Is it possible to change an existing product page? So I wasn't entirely clear on exactly what Martin wants, but what I can do is talk about what the options are. Actually, I've just realized that was one for you, Sam. So do you want to explain how customizable it is?
Yes, yeah, I'll get into the customizability. I just mentioned for Martin's sake, I was playing around with our demo site trying to rearrange the shop page, which is not as easy as you'd think it would be. And so this product table does do that. It completely transforms the main shop page if you want it to. However, on the product page level, you could add it to the sort of details of the product, so you could bring up some other recommended products, but it's not really meant for single product pages as such. You could put it maybe in the product tabs below and it could have some product information, but that's another use case. Right, in terms of customization, I'll show you first of all, if I can find the right button. This is a knowledge-based article, which is product table columns, and basically tells you all of the different columns that you could have in your table if you wanted to. And so with the demo that Katie was showing, there was, say, for example, I will give a demo for myself. At the moment, we have image, name, summary, price, and buy. But we actually have a lot more column options that we could add. And then in terms of styling and how the table looks and feels, that's going to get pulled from your theme. So this website's running the Astra theme right now, and everything is basically set to default. There's not too much customization. But if we go into the settings for the plugin itself, so I'm on the settings page for WooCommerce Product Table, and you scroll down to Design, and it's near the bottom, and you click on Custom. Then you have the option to change the border width, as on the external, the header, and the body, as well as the header background color, text, and the body background color and body text. So this would be where you would enter the color. Is that correct, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can enter the hexadecimal color code here, and then that will, yeah, so for where it says color, obviously, and then the text you can change the text and size. It'll take a little bit of trial and error, but once you've got that figured out, then that's how you can customize it.
Okay, and the other question was from Baz. So I think Baz had a few comments and information. So let's go to the background first. So Baz from the Netherlands leads EcoSustain. We're focused on sustainable cleaning solutions, eager to see how Barn2's plugins can enhance our e-commerce platform. Baz is curious about the potential for integrating a favorites feature within the WooCommerce Product Table plugin. Many customers place weekly orders and often purchase the same items. Can they mark products as favorites and then use a filter to display only those favorites in the product table to simplify the reordering process? Yes, there's a couple of ways to do that. So I just want to open up another link before I share my screen. There's a couple of ways to do this. So I can answer that literally and then suggest what I think is a better way. Just looking for a tutorial on our site.
In regards to your other question, Baz, yes, you can filter the table by stock availability. It's an option.
Actually, I think you have to use it with our product filters plugin for that.
Oh, I see.
Because that has an in-stock filter and it works with product table.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So I'm going to share my screen and talk about the favorites side of things. So there is an add to favorites plugin which works with WooCommerce Product Table. I don't think I've created a caption for this, but I will do so now. Oh, I have. How organized. There we go. So this is an article on our site which talks about a free plugin called Favorites. I'm just scrolling down to look for a screenshot. Here we go. And that adds literally a favorite button, which I think it works with cookies or something like that, that it somehow knows how that when the same user visits a page, visits your site, it remembers that they've previously clicked favorite. But I don't think that's the best way to do that. So I'm going to go to another article on our blog, which this is a feature of WooCommerce Product Table. And I'll just create a quick caption to show you the exact link. So basically, normally people use WooCommerce Product Table to list products in the public area of their site, but you don't have to do that. It has a feature which will create a table displaying products which that same user has previously ordered, which you can put somewhere hidden, such as in the account area. So in Baz's case, imagine that your customer logs into your site and they go into, say, a favorite products tab in the account area, and that has a product table which they can filter and whatever, listing products which that user has previously ordered. I think that might be a more seamless way to achieve the favorites functionality, because the user doesn't have to mark it as a favorite. The very fact that they've previously ordered it will achieve that. So I'm just going to scroll down. In this screenshot at the top that I'm sharing here, this is using our product table plugin, using the previous products feature I just mentioned, with a plugin called Account Pages by iconicwp.com. So Iconic's plugin allows you to add extra tabs to the WooCommerce account area, and our plugin obviously does the table side of things that I just described. So this tutorial shows you how to do that to create that area within the account page. If you don't want to use Iconic's plugin, that's okay. You can just create a hidden page on your site and send links to it. And imagine you've added the product table to it and sent all your users to this page. Each user will only see the products they have previously ordered. So there's no security issues or anything like that. You should disable the caching option in WooCommerce Product Table to make sure that it loads fresh for each user and doesn't show cached products from another user. But apart from that, you could just create a hidden page. But I think the most professional way to do this is to use Iconic's Account Pages plugin to create a nice tab within the accounts area. So
Okay.
in addition to that, Baz had some other questions, which was Wishlist integration in the product table. So the Wishlist, again, you can do that by adding another plugin. For anyone that doesn't know, a Wishlist plugin literally allows customers to create a wish list. So here's a demo of our WooCommerce Product Table plugin being used with an Add to Wishlist plugin. And I'll tell you about 3 plugins you can use for this in a minute. So to show you how it works, I'm going to click Add to Wishlist. I'll close it. I'll add something else to the wish list. And now I'll go to the wishlist page, which is created with the Wishlist plugin. And as you can see, the 2 products that I added are here, so that the customer can come back at a later date and buy the products that they have wished for. Now, there's 3 plugins that we know of that work with WooCommerce Product Table in this way. Yith WooCommerce Wishlist, Wishlist for WooCommerce by AckerWebs, and Template Invaders WooCommerce Wishlist. That's quite hard to say. We will send a link to all of those in the YouTube description later, but I'm also going to show you an article on our blog which tells you exactly how to set up all 3 of those with Product Table. So I'll go to it now, and I've also put it on the screen. So this is about how to use either our Product Table or our Quick View plugin with various Wishlist plugins. Actually, I think it covers even more than the 3 I said. So all the ones that we know are compatible, we've told you about here, basically. So just looking at the new comments. So a couple more from Baz. Does the product table allow for filter? You've done that, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah, but I have something to update on that. If you just allow me 1 second.
Okay.
So this is back on the product table that I had earlier, but I've just changed the stock levels on 1 item, and I've added the stock as a column to the table. So now I can actually modify, at least sort by lowest to highest stock level. I'm not sure if that actually answers the question, because I think we wanted like a filter by stock amount maybe, but that would be a separate thing with product filters. But yeah, I can at least move the highest stock level to the top or to the bottom.
Yeah, that kind of does the job. Yeah, as you say, it's sort by stock status or level. But if you don't want to use another plugin, that does work in Product Table, or you can use it with our Product Filters plugin to add the in-stock toggle above or to the side of the table.
Yep. Awesome.
And Bas also says he uses the iconic delivery slots plugin. Yeah, that's very popular with our customers, particularly customers of our restaurant ordering plugin, because they like their restaurant customers to be able to choose a delivery slot or a collection slot for their food order. So that's a very good plugin that we would recommend. So sounds like he'd be open to using account pages for the displaying of previous products as well. Yeah, sounds like it. So that's all good.
That would work. Awesome.
Okay,
wow.
So 2 more. Sorry?
Yeah, 2 more questions.
Okay, so Morhad says, I love working with your products. Excellent. Any chance to see a custom order status plugin developed by you? I would say that I haven't seen a gap in the market for one that we could improve on. So there isn't a reason for us to do one right now, because we create plugins where we either see a gap that totally doesn't exist, or where we can significantly improve on what's out there. So for example, with product options, we could see that there was a big gap compared to, say, WooCommerce product add-ons, which doesn't have very many features. But custom order statuses, I'm not seeing that. And there's 2 plugins I'd recommend for that. There's WooCommerce Order Status Manager by SkyVerge, and also Yith WooCommerce Custom Order Status. They're both 2 very good, fully featured, high quality plugins that you can use for that. So I don't think we can improve on that, to be honest. And any of their plugins will work. That plugin, any custom order status plugin, will work with ours, because none of our plugins modify order statuses in any way in that sense. So the custom order status talks to WooCommerce and our plugins talk to WooCommerce. They never talk to each other. Therefore, you don't need to worry about compatibility. So say you're using our wholesale plugin or something, that doesn't affect order statuses. Therefore, it's going to work with a custom order status plugin.
Cool.
And another comment from Kimberly. I do personalized engravings on wood and black slate coasters. When you implement the customized preview, will this include wood/grains? I suppose you would upload an image of the wood, which needs to have the appropriate graininess of a typical coaster, so that when the image is put over the top, it kind of looks realistic. I don't know at this stage how photorealistic it will look, because this is a project that we are at the very earliest stages of planning, if that makes sense. So I expect it would start off relatively simple, and then we'd add complexity over time, which is normally how you would add a feature of this complexity. But I'd say your image needs to be very good and show how the texture of the product would look.
And Kimberly had a follow-up comment. I'll just show it up as well, asking if the new features would be grandfathered in if she bought the lifetime license.
I can't even see that. Yes, absolutely. When we release new features on a plugin, then all existing users of that plugin will get the update, because you get updates. So if you have an annual license which is still active, i.e. it hasn't expired, and or a lifetime license, then you would get all the new features. The only possible exception would be if we released it as a different plugin. So, for example, a lot of our Wholesale Pro customers wanted user-specific pricing, and we decided to create a discount manager plugin that worked alongside Wholesale Pro. Therefore, that wasn't grandfathered because it was a different plugin. But we did send existing users a massive discount when we launched the plugin. So that's the only exception. So if it's the same plugin, then yes, it's grandfathered in. If it was a different one, then it wouldn't be. And there's no discussions at this stage that the preview thing would be separate. To me, it feels quite intrinsically like it needs to be in product options, because it fits with the upload feature and so on.
I believe we have a final question from Bastian, asking about custom development services.
Right, for custom development, we work with Codable, who have, if you don't know them, they have a lot of very good, basically pre-vetted developers. So to become a Codable developer, the Codable company check your development skills and that you are a true expert in WordPress development. And we have a particular list of Codable developers. I'll just create a link to that actually. So we have a custom landing page which people can go to create a job on Codable. We have a couple of sort of projects which are actually pre-quoted to set up some of our more popular plugins, or you can add your custom requirements, and that will go to the developers who are particularly experienced in working with our plugins. So we don't offer development services directly. We recommend Codable, and that link will take you to the Barn2 landing page that links you into all of that.
Awesome. Well, according to my screen, there's 129 people watching right now, which is crazy because we're at the just about at the hour mark. So I think we're ready to wrap it up, but we want to continue these discussions. Obviously, you can reach out to us on Twitter and through our support channels as well, like on our website. And if you want to get a direct response, that's the best way to do it. Thank you for all your comments. And Katie, final remarks?
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We've set up the next session. So next month's live stream, well, it's not quite next month. It's going to be Thursday, the 2nd of May at 6 p.m. Central European summertime, because the clocks are going to change, or that would be 12 o'clock midday Eastern time. And we do them about once a month. Kimberly's just asked a question there. We do them once a month-ish, but we've happened to move into early May instead of late April, basically. And so if you go to barn2.com/events, I think I've done a link for that, then you can register. So we've already put the registration link in, so you can pre-submit your questions, just like lots of people did this time, and then we can prepare them in advance. We answer live questions, as you've seen, but it is helpful to know in advance, because as you've also seen, we've created lots of custom demo products and things like that today. So if we know, then that helps us to prepare a better answer for you than what we can do live. So that's always good to be able to do.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And we will see you in the next one. You can always check out the YouTube channels if you want to see my beautiful face again. But yeah, we look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.